Today we are going to have a look at an affordable but surprisingly well-specced set of true wireless earbuds, namely the Soundpeats Air3 Deluxe HS. High-res audio with LDAC support, smart sensors and the 10-band parametric EQ are features you might not expect for around $50, but you can get them with these buds nonetheless. So the specs look good, but how the earbuds perform? That's what I'm going to try and figure out in the next couple of minutes. Hi everyone, my name is Andy, and you are watching Andy's Tech Tone. And let me start with a quick disclaimer. I got the earbuds from the manufacturer for testing, but I'm not getting paid, nor was I getting influenced by anybody during the process of making this review. Nobody got any preview privileges either, and as always, all I share with you is my honest and unfiltered opinion. And to be completely honest, I'm not even sure why I said yes when Soundpeats asked me to review the Air3 Deluxe HS, as I tend to refuse testing earbuds with a semi-in-ear design. The reason is simple. Earbuds without silicone ear tips, like these ones, tend to slip out of my ears, which makes them unusable for me. So at first I was worried that it would be the case with the Soundpeats buds as well, but I'm happy to say that the Air3 Deluxe stay in my ears during casual everyday activities such as walking outside. And that fact alone makes them better than most AirPods-like buds out there. So the fit is secure enough in my ears when just strolling around, but it's far from being snug enough to be used in the gym or for running. I didn't even want to risk testing them, even though they come with an IPX4 rating, which makes the buds splash and sweat proof, so as long as you feel like they sit securely in your ears, you can of course use them for low intensity exercises. But again, the fit is rather loose in my ears for such activities. However, thanks to the loose fit and the low weight of around 4 grams, the comfort is first class. I simply don't feel the earbuds in my ears after a while, and when used outside, the less than ideal seal can become an advantage, as all sorts of surrounding noises can get through easily, improving your situational awareness. There is no ANC nor there is transparency or ambient mode on the Air3 Deluxe, but in my ears it feels like you have ambient mode turned on all the time. Which I kinda like, not just because it's handy from a safety standpoint, but also wind noise is minimal, which usually gets over-amplified on earbuds when their actual ambient mode is activated. But that's not the case with the Air3 Deluxe HS, and the low wind noise earns a few good points in my book. The earbuds are fully plastic, but the build quality is excellent, especially with the $50 price tag in mind. I like the matte black coating on the buds, and I only wish they have used the same on the battery case as well, but no, we got the usual glossy coating there, which makes the case a fingerprint magnet. But the case itself is very solidly built too, and it's also pocket friendly thanks to its low profile, and the lid opens and closes firmly without any unwanted flapping action. There is a battery status LED and a pairing button on the front, and a nice looking branded insert on the back. Wireless charging is not an option with the Air3 Deluxe, so you will have to use the USB Type-C port at the bottom of the case for charging. According to my own tests, the earbuds will last up to 6 hours and 50 minutes on a single charge, but only on iOS with the AAC codec. When the LDAC codec is in use on Android, the playtime goes down to 3 hours and 25 minutes, which is exactly the half of what we could get when using AAC. Of course, depending on many factors, your results may vary. The case can recharge the buds 3.5 times, which will give us more than 22 hours of use in optimal conditions. I found no information on quick charging, so I have to assume that there is no such feature. But what we know for a fact is that we got Bluetooth 5.2 on board, along with support for the high-resolution LDAC audio codec. Pairing is easy with both iOS and Android devices. I have not experienced any lip-sync issues with either the AAC or the LDAC codec, and I didn't have any signal dropouts during my tests. Even the LDAC codec proved to be more reliable than usual. That is unless you are in busy places with loads of competing wireless signals, but on Android you always have the option to opt for better signal stability over sound quality, which lowers the bitrate to make the connection between your source and your earbuds more stable in all sorts of environments. Game mode, when enabled in the Soundpeats smartphone app, can take the latency down to under 100 milliseconds, which makes the earbuds a potentially great alternative for even hardcore gamers. You can also activate game mode by tapping 3 times on the left earbud. There is single bud mode, which means that you can use either bud on its own as they connect to your phone independently, but there is no multi-point support. In case you were wondering what to expect from the Soundpeats Air3 Deluxe HS earbuds in terms of phone call quality, here's a quick audio sample for you. So we got 4 microphones in total on the 2 earbuds, and this is the sound quality you get in a quiet environment. And by stepping outside, I believe I can give you a pretty good idea of what to expect from these earbuds when you happen to make a phone call outside with some traffic noise and a slight wind thrown into the mix. Onto the touch controls, the Soundpeats buds can offer you a complete set of functions. Play, pause, tracks, volume, your voice assistant, and phone calls can all be managed through the touch-sensitive interface on each bud. The touch controls work well for the most part, but I found that I have to be very careful with how and where I press on the buds, so I won't push them out of my ears by accident, thanks to their rather loose fit. And funnily enough, my fingers tend to stick to the buds when using the long press action to change tracks, and when that happens, I can pull the earbuds out of my ears easily. Onto customization, you cannot actually remap the controls in the app, but you can deactivate the single tap action, which is volume up and down, if you experience too many unintended touches, and believe me, you will have some of that for sure. But Soundpeats must be aware of that fact, and at least they gave us the option to prevent mistouches from happening. You can also enable or disable the smart sensors depending on whether you want automatic play and pause when taking the buds out and putting them back in your ears or not. And the app, beside the single tap and the auto play pause switch, also offers you a game mode switch and quite a handful of EQ presets. Plus, there is an excellent 10-band parametric EQ for those who would like to tailor the sound to their own musical taste. The manual EQ works pretty well, and it's one of the best I have seen for under $100, but you can only set up and save one custom preset. And that's all there is in the app, unless you count the shopping menu, which takes you to an online store, a feature. The app is available for both Android and iOS. And now let's see what the larger than usual 14.2mm dynamic drivers sound like. If you expect a less than optimal bass response due to the semi-in-ear design, then you are right and wrong at the same time. I mean, of course you won't get such a deep, impactful or even boomy bass than, let's say, from the Soundcore Live P3 or the Earphone Air Pro SV, but you get a snappy and lean bass with a sense of a good kick and no distortion whatsoever. Some more extension and heft in the lower registers would not hurt, but the lack of bottom and weight might only be an issue with certain genres where heavy bass is a must. The relatively open mid-range is handy when it comes to highlighting either female or male vocals in the mix. I heard more tonally rich instruments before, but I believe that for around $50 this is one of the best you can get. And there is also an unexpected amount of musical detail on offer across the mids and the highs, especially when the LDAC codec is in use. Extension towards the top end is great, and we also get crisp details, but there is no sign of coarseness in the sound. We get a huge and wide sound stage, which in terms of its dimensions can easily compete with even something like the 2nd gen Apple AirPods Pro. Where the Soundpeats buds lose big points is the imaging, which lacks focus and finesse. We get a big wall of sound without any layers or easily distinguishable elements in the music. It's a spacious sound, however it's not quite laser focused. But that's somewhat expected from the semi-in-ear design, I believe. The buds do not sit deep inside your ears, and they don't seal your ear canals as tightly either, so you cannot expect a precise and intimate inside of your head kind of sound. But I like its airy and wide character, especially combined with the always-on ambient mode-like experience. And there is the better than average manual EQ in the app, which to a certain extent can help with the lack of deep bass as well. The maximum volume, even if way louder than what I would ever suggest you use for even short periods of time, is lower than what you can achieve with most earbuds that can seal your ear canals properly with their silicone tips. And the overall experience is of course completely different with the Soundpeats Air3 Deluxe HS than what I'm used to thanks to their different semi-in-ear design. They performed much better than expected as far as fit or sound quality, and I quite enjoyed the always-on ambient-like feeling, especially when used outside. However, the not too secure fit and the lack of ANC will somewhat limit their use, but if you are someone who is looking for affordable, open-sounding and comfortable earbuds, and you don't mind the missing noise cancelling, then I would definitely encourage you to have a look at the Air3 Deluxe HS, because in this price range, you can hardly find anything more compelling than these Soundpeats buds. And that's it for today. If you liked the video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.